All right, everybody, let's take a look at this Friday here, which was on the 20th. It's going to be my recap for my trades in the morning and also in Discord. Now, I started off, this is Mini Russell, RTY. Once again, just sticking with the indices this week. I may even do it for another week. Indices are just really hot right now. Anyway, so I initially got long, okay? I had a level up here. I had an entry, I had a pattern setting up, and went ahead and bought. Pattern is called pairing, so I ended up buying pretty much to the high of this move here. But I want you to pay attention to how I play this. Now, I know what the probabilities are, so I do have a higher target sitting up here. And you can see it up here, much higher target. So whenever I get a signal, I know, or I get one of these patterns set up, I know that I have a 70% probability of hitting this target, all right, before it reverses. This is real important because I'm going to use that on how I add size to my position, right? Because the 70% solid across the board, very reliable. I don't have to worry about the percentages changing because of the way these patterns are set up, all right? So, let me open this up a little bit. So what I ended up doing here, so I had a buy coming in. I bought. Now, at this point right in here, it's like a 50% point for me to buy it. I went ahead and I added to this, to my long position. Okay, this is the only place that I'm going to add because even when it pulls back to this level, I still have a 70% probability that it's going to go up and hit my target. Okay, this is important. I'm not just adding because the market's going against me, all right? That is a losing strategy. But just because it pulls back doesn't mean I still don't have a 70%. I still have a 70% probability. So, but my risk is a lot less on this second position, okay? And I use that on adding size, okay? So in this case, what ended up happening is I ended up buying, but it ended up continuing to come down. In this case, I did take a loss on these two trades, but I ended up reversing and going short. I did the exact same thing on the short side. So when it reversed, I added to my second position here short. I added more than I initially bought. And then when it pulled back, I added again. Okay. So once again, still 70% probability. In this case, it's going to hit this lower target. And that's exactly what it did. So the net of these two trades turned out to be a profit, okay? So I'm only going to add. I'm not adding just because market's going against me. That's a losing strategy. But if my probabilities are going to continue to be the same based on all my trading over the last years, and also the research has shown that I can go ahead and add because my probabilities are still going to remain to be a 70% probability of hitting my target. Now, another strategy that a lot of people like to do, I personally don't like to do it, is just wait for these pullbacks, all right, and then take your trade. But the problem is a lot of really good trades are never going to have that pullback. So think about that. So you're going to leave some on the table waiting for these pullbacks. I don't like that. I'm just going to go ahead and get in. If it pulls back, great. I can add to my position and then go ahead and take that trade, all right? So that was on the Mini Russell. Let's take a look and see what we did on the E-mini S&P. Let's take a look at that trade. All right, so this is going to be the E-mini S&P 500 trade. Now, in this case, I never did have a buy setting up. Never got triggered on a buy. It was only the short, all right? In this case, this was an HF1 short. So the second trade that I took on the Russell was an HF1 as well. Started off with a pairing, remember, then we reversed on an HF1. This was just a straight up HF1. I never had a buy anywhere in here. It was just a straight short on an HF1, and I went ahead and got out of my first target. I had other targets down here. Once again, remember, being a Friday and in my indices, in most cases, I'm going to be getting out of target number one. That's certainly up to you where you want to get out. All right. So the net of these two trades. So nice profit on the Mini Russell. Nice profit on the S&P. This came about because, once again, what did I do? I added on the reversal, right? Okay. So not a bad day considering it's a Friday. Now, on Monday, I'm going to give you guys, all right, some further out targets on these indices that I haven't ever done before, but I want to show you some of these farther out targets. All right. So if you tune in on Monday, now remember, I start every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. I will show you those targets. I have one for the mini Russell, one for the E-mini S&P, and we're also going to have one for the mini Nasdaq, and I'll show you those further out targets. And you can go ahead and watch them, as well as the reversal points if they don't hit those targets, where I'll be taking a buy, okay, and or sell for each one of these. But right now I do have some already in place, so we do have some targets that we're looking to hit lower, but we also have some really high probability ones, some patterns setting up as well that are projecting out much further targets. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be on Monday. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back again. I think I'm going to do it again next week and get a lot of people interested in just doing the indices. It makes a lot of sense because you guys start with these really small accounts. It's really hard to come up with the margin requirement to do some of these contracts. So the best way to do it, I think, is look at something like the Nasdaq exchange. Nasdaq, you can trade knockouts just like trading spot, but you don't have those big margin requirements. Okay, you don't have to open up these big accounts in order to trade these indices. All right, so that's something to think about. But nonetheless, make sure you check out all the videos. I do have a lot of them on the my YouTube channel, Innovative Trading Strategies. And for more information, innovativetradingstrategies.com. If you would like to trade along with me, watch my trades in the morning and as I go into the rest of the day, just join my Discord channel. I'll show you how, if you're interested in learning my method, that is certainly available in my courses. But if you don't want to take the course and just kind of watch along and trade with some other traders and watch how I trade, then you can do that by just participating in the Discord channel. Okay, so anyway, that's going to wrap it up, and I will be back first thing Monday morning. Y'all have a good weekend. Be careful. See you on Monday.